do you want to know the one thing that will accelerate your spiritual growth more than anything else? Then listen to this video because it's exactly what we're going to talk about here today. So, whilst we're on this spiritual growth journey, and many of us are, where we're moving towards this life where the default position is to feel at peace. The default position is to be calm, is to have this love feeling in our heart. It's not to be in stress. It's not to be in drama. It's not to be in lack mindset. Instead, we're moving towards this 4D way of living, which is all about peace, love, calmness, and so on. So this is what I found made the biggest difference to me, because if I look back to a few years ago in my life and where I am now, the biggest difference that I can explain is this feeling of calmness, is this feeling that everything is fine, everything is perfect, everything is exactly the way it needs to be. And it wasn't always like this. There used to be a time in my life when there was a lot of drama, there was a lot of stress, there was a lot of good times too, but there was a lot of activity. And so now it's all about really coming back to the center of who I am, what I really want to experience whilst I'm on this planet, whilst I'm in this lifetime. And I'm going to tell you the thing that made the biggest difference to me. So if we go back a few years, back to when the pandemic started, I noticed something on a particular day that really changed my whole trajectory moving forward. What I noticed was that I was getting really agitated. They were the days when I was on Facebook all the time. Since that time, there's a lot of things I've let go of, and that's one of them. But on this particular day, I was really agitated and frustrated and annoyed and angry. And what I was annoyed at was I was noticing that more and more people were judging other people. And this really got me distressed. That how can we treat our fellow citizens like this? How can we treat our friends like this? How can we treat our colleagues like this? How can we just treat strangers like this? How can we call people sheep or call people idiots or whatever? How can we call people names? Like, is this really happening? We're not in primary school, we're not in kindergarten. These are adults actually yelling at other people on social media, and even people I went to high school with, people treating each other really poorly. And I found myself getting increasingly distressed and upset. And when I felt into that anger, because that's what it was real anger, I noticed what the paradox was. The paradox was that I was judging other people for judging. So when you think about it, it's really quite funny. I was judging the judges, but I was doing the same thing they were doing. I may not have been calling people names or treating people poorly, but I was still in a judgment zone. I was not in a heart open, everybody can have their own opinion, everybody can do it their way zone. I was in a, oh my God, these people are so nasty. How can they treat people like this? And that's what I was thinking about them. And so then it occurred to me, I'm actually thinking about them the way they're thinking about them, the way they're thinking about them. And then there's this cycle that's actually going around and round and round. And I am contributing to this energy of judgment. And that was a massive aha moment for me. It was like, wow, I always thought that I was, you know, definitely at that stage in my life when I had been a successful therapist for so many years, well over a decade. And I prided myself in not holding judgment. So anybody could walk through the door and there would be no judgment about their experience, the way they felt, their actions. And yet here I was still judging after all these years. How can it be possible that this feeling of judgment is inside my body? How am I acting in this way? And it was a real revelation about what was going on for me. And so when we go back to the number one thing you can do to really accelerate your spiritual growth, it's to be the observer of self, like to really watch yourself, to really observe yourself as if you're the movie and you're the observer. And later on, when I had my spiritual awakening, I learned and found out that this is a movie. And if you want more information on that, I have a playlist on this YouTube channel, on my elenimitas YouTube channel, that is called Plant Medicine. So you can find out about all my experiences in that particular plant, in that particular playlist. But for that period of time before I had the plant medicine, it was all about, wow, I'm going to watch myself from now on. I'm going to watch how I think and watch how I feel, because for me to be holding on to this much anger about the way other people conduct themselves, what's going on inside me? And why is this happening? And so, really being the observer of self, watching yourself play out in certain situations, watching when you get distressed about something and going deep. What is this really about? What is this really about? And being very interested and curious as to how you react in certain situations, how you respond in certain situations, and really being the observer of self. So as an example, when you're doing something and you're taking action, what is the intention behind that action? An example might be, I've been given some beautiful catalysts here where I live in Glenelg, where there's a lot of homeless people on the streets. And so when I give to the homeless people, I will look at myself and I will ask myself, do I really want to help this person? Do I still need somebody else to see me giving? Or is it really about the person? So who's this about? Is me giving money to this homeless person about me? Is it so I can feel good? Or is it really because I just want to help them and I want to make their life just a little bit easier that day? So it's really going into the intention of every action that you take, every thought that you have. Do you really want what's best for others, or do you still only seek what's best for yourself? Because if you only seek what's best for yourself, then we're all about the ego, and it's the ego that's actually dominating your life. But when we're actually really concerned about what's best for others, then we're in our beautiful heart space. And that is a different space to operate from altogether. So I'm not saying at this stage to change anything or change the way you do anything, but if you just observe yourself in everyday actions, if you just observe yourself every single day, you are going to be absolutely astounded as to what you discover about who you are and who you are not. And you might find that the things that you no longer, that you find icky about yourself, like, why did I say that? Why did I do that? That's actually your ego self that's doing that, which is your fake self. It's not your real self. Your real self comes from here, comes from your heart, comes from your soul. It's what gives you shivers all the way down your body. It's what gives you goosebumps. It's what blows your heart right open, which is very different to the mind, which is the ego mind. And my absolute passion, at the moment is all about differentiating the two. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos about the spiritual journey as they unfold for me. Please, 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 please subscribe, because that's the way these videos will get out more, and this is the way that I'll do more videos. So please subscribe to my elenimitas channel, and I will come back and share some more of the journey. Sending you so much love. See you later.